Everyone, it's Kelly from Kelly Santi Designs bringing you this week's tutorial for Splitcoaststampers. Today's technique is easy glue printing. It's a lot of creative fun and easier than it looks. And the beauty of this is you probably have most of these items right there in your own home. Let me show you what you'll need. We'll create one together and then we'll see those finished samples. The first thing that you're going to need is some white school glue, and this one works the best because once it dries, it's clear and gives it that shimmer and shine that you're going to need. You'll also need two different colors of acrylic paint. If you don't have acrylic paint, watercolors will work for this technique, so you can go ahead and give that a try. I find the best look and the best technique turns out when you use acrylic paint, but you do have options. A paint palette. So I am using a disposable plate here, and you can also use a box or feel free to use a small little base. You're going to need some cardboard. Peel it back so that you see those corrugated lines. That's where the magic takes place. And all those holiday packages that are arriving, save a little piece of a box. Some dies. I'm using just slightly under an A2 size card. These are from the Stamps of Life. And these measure, let's see, I believe this is 5 1/4. Let's see, this is 5 1/4 by 4, so just under an A2 size card, by 3 1/2 and by 4 3/4. So this is the card base. I've already pre-cut those out. This is watercolor paper, but you will need 110-pound cardstock or heavier to hold up to the weight of the paint and the glue. I'm also using this as a focal point. This is the Tim Holtz Christmas Tree dies from Sizzix and a sentiment from Lawn Fawn. So any stamp sentiment that you want to use and any focal point die, that will work for you. So set this to the side. And then the optional items are you'll need some adhesive, some scissors. If you want to do a shaker card, which I do have one of those to share with you as well, you'll need some adhesive foam. You'll need a paintbrush just to do some swirling. I'm using my Misty to do the stamped image so that it keeps it easier to do. And any other supplies we'll see along the way. Let's jump in and let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is add on your paint and just put a little bit down on a plate or your palette. And I'm going to be putting equal parts of paint and glue. So I thought these colors would be beautiful for a super lovely winter morning, like when the sun is coming up over the trees and you see it shimmering on the snow. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off and then mix it in so that you have equal parts of the glue and the paint. And then we're going to swirl it together and make this beautiful look. Just have a little foam brush here. And you will need to put this in like the shape of a square so that you can dip right down into this glue and paint mixture. It's a lot of creative fun. You can do this with the children, with the grandchildren, and it's just a wonderful technique. And the fun thing with this is you never get the same look twice. So I'm going to get our little stamping base here. This is the smaller insert. So you have one here and one here. I'm just going to grab this one. And then we're going to take our little stamping printing tool here. I'm actually going to trim this down. This is a little bit larger than what I need. So I'm just going to trim part of that off. And this is the fun. You just press it very gently down into this paint. And a light hand is good here. You don't need to press too hard. Otherwise, you will have a goopy mess. So what I'm going to do is put down a little piece of scratch paper. And that way, if there's any overflow, we will be doing okay. So I'm going to set that down there. Just take a look at this. See how it looks. If you're not comfortable with this paint, go ahead and put on a little pair of gloves and you'll be just fine. Otherwise, I promise it washes right off. Then you just set this down onto your little cardstock or your watercolor paper and gently press it, covering all of the corners from the top all the way down to the bottom. And another fun thing about this, Here is the reveal. Isn't that beautiful? So you get the shimmer, the shine, and both of those colors in there. The beauty of this is that you can keep going without having to re-ink this. You can just keep right on stamping. So we will do that here with this one here and just set it down, and you'll get a lighter look each time you stamp it out. So it gives you a beautiful gradient. You can go from dark, bold paint colors all the way down to really soft and subtle. So you can just keep on going. In fact, let's do that so I can show you here. I have another piece here. You can just keep going, and it makes a great way to create bulk cards. And you'll have, after this, 5 or 6 different backgrounds that you'll be able to use in your card making. This works out great for a swap. So if you want to do 5 or 6 quick cards in a row, there you go. See how it gets gradiently lighter? And that is just beautiful. You start bold and you end with a really light pastel. You can also redip this again and keep going. So you'll have at least, 10, 12 cards out of one use. And it really gives it such a beautiful, beautiful background. It does take about maybe 20 minutes to dry. So if you want to do this organically, set this to the side, let it dry. You can also use a heat gun. That works fine as well. I actually like to let these dry overnight. So here is one that I did overnight. And I love how this turned out. So let me show you here. The next step is to get any type of focal point. And in this case, here's another one. I'm going to use the lighter one for this card. And this is the focal point that I used for a Distress Oxide earlier. I just went ahead and die cut that out using the Tim Holtz little Christmas tree die. And that's actually going to set right down on top of that. Here's what I wanted to share with you. If you want to use some adhesive, you can go ahead and use the adhesive for that. I would like to pop this up on some adhesive foam to give it some dimension. I love that on my cards. I think it gives it a little extra character. So I'm just going to put a quick little bit of adhesive back here and then fasten that down onto the next layer of this card. And I love all of the white space because it really gives it a beautiful contrast to the bright, fun colors. Just like that. Go ahead and peel this back, and then I'm going to layer this down on top of the next base, which is here. This one here. So this one is going to be a holiday card, a winter themed card. You can also do this for birthdays. You can do this for any holiday, really. Let me see. Let me line this up straight. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So again, it's just a quick little fun and creative way to create a new look to your card. And I love how no matter how many times you stamp this, you won't get the same card 2 times. It's always going to be unique and different. So there we go. There is the card base, and I'm going to set it down on top of this one here. Just like that. And again, this does measure out to an A2 size card, so it fits right into a regular envelope. And there you go, easy breezy. That was super, super fast. I move this paint out of the way. And there you go, we have our card base already done. Super easy. Now this is the tree that I'm using, and this one was from a Distress Oxide panel that I had created. And I just went ahead and I ran that through my Big Shot with the Tim Holtz die. Just get these pieces off the back. And then the next part will be adding a fun sentiment. You can keep the fun going by putting a little bit of splatter throughout here. You can take a little paintbrush, dip it in some water, dip it back into that paint mixture, and just flick some paint on here. That would be a fun little addition you could do to the cards. And here we go. So I'm just going to put this right on the front. And I did choose some colors for the background that would marry well with this little stamped and die cut imaged here. I keep saying stamped, I mean blended. So there we go. And then here is a quick little sentiment stamped out from This is from Lawn Fawn. Let me put a little bit of glue to the back of this one, and we will be ready to fasten this one. Just like this. Actually, let me open it here. It came a little unstuck, so there we go. And I'll put this right around here. Very easy to do. And like I said, you probably have the glue at home. You have the cardboard at home, any watercolors, acrylic paint. Go ahead and give this technique a try. It is so incredibly fun. And another way you can do this is you don't have to saturate the entire cardboard. You can just dip little pieces and use it throughout the card. But there you go. Very easy to do. A nice way to wish someone a very happy holiday, a happy winter season. You put any sentiment on the inside and your own special little message. So let me show you another sample, and this is one that I did earlier using a Tim Holtz die again. This is the thinner tree, and I used another watercolor background, put it together here with a little happy holidays, and this is from Simon Says Stamp. This is from their little gnome set. There's another one there. And then I also went ahead and completed this one, making it into a shaker card. Here's the blue version. That's from My Favorite Things, The Happiest of Holidays. And these trees are also from a Simon Says Stamp. You can see here, I used some faux snow, some acetate, a little Spellbinder circle dies, cut out the center there. And I love how this turned out. I love a winter wonderland. You can see there all of that snow. Turn it upside down. It'll be all over the place. And I love how this turned out. It's just really super fun. So here's the blues and the purples. Here are the pinks and the orange and the greens. And then here's a little mixture of all of them. So that is my trio of easy glue printing cards, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this technique. Super simple to do and a lot of fun, especially if you are home for the holidays and want to get a unique and fun card. This is one that you can create with just a few items. And that's going to be it for this tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.